Hey everybody, welcome to another review on my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at two different LEGO Star Wars sets. On the left we have the Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon Battle, and on the right we have the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. The Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon Battle comes with 289 pieces and is recommended for ages 7 and up. And the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack comes with 109 pieces and is recommended for ages 6 and up. And we're going to kick off this review by taking a look at this set first. Starting with the minifigures that come in this set, this is the Imperial Commando. I do feel like this figure has some pretty good detailing on the chest and legs. There's also a little bit of toe printing on the figure, which is always really great to see. And I do like the white and gray design of the helmet. It further complements the overall design of the figure as a whole. And as we make our way around to the side of the figure, you can see that there is no arm printing or holes in the helmet for accessories. But there's still some pretty good detail to be seen there, and if we make our way to the back of the figure, you can see that he's wearing a jetpack that is made up of 2 pieces. For me personally, I don't mind the overall look and design of this jetpack, and I think the piece on the front there that's printed looks pretty good. Removing the jetpack of the figure will show off his back print, and I think it looks pretty good for what it is. Removing the helmet of this figure will show off a plain minifigure head underneath, and you get 2 of these figures in this set. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is called the Mandalorian Warrior. And I do like the overall color for this figure and how it uses 2 different shades of blue to complement each other with the figure's overall design. Mix in the silver and brown throughout the printing, and you got a pretty good color palette for this figure. As we make our way to the side of the figure, you can see that the helmet does include some holes to add various accessories if you wish. But again, you can see that this figure is lacking some arm printing. And as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see that he is rocking a dark gray jetpack. And removing the jetpack will give us a good look at this figure's back print. And removing the helmet from the figure will show off a plain minifigure head underneath. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is called the Mandalorian Night Owl. I do like the helmet design for this figure and the printed insignia found in the middle. I think that looks really great. And at first glance, the chest and leg printing may be very similar to the Mandalorian Warrior, but they actually have some differences which I appreciate. As we make our way around to the side of the figure, again you can see that there is no arm printing, but there are some helmet holes included. And as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see that the Mandalorian Night Owl also comes with a dark gray jetpack. Removing the jetpack will give us a good look at the figure's back print. And just like with all the other figures in the set, if we remove the helmet, there is a plain minifigure head underneath. Included in the set are also 2 small side builds. The first of which is this really small turret that is only made up of a few pieces. The top part is a stud shooter, so when you push it down, the stud will go flying. The other small build is a crate with a removable top that has a detonator inside. With the minifigures out of the way, we're going to talk about the very small and simple environmental build that is included in this set. There really is nothing overly special about this design, and it's made up of mostly brown and gray pieces. On the right side of the set, you are going to see a clear and red stud meant to represent some lighting. Taking a look at the other side of the set, you can see there's really not a lot of detail to be seen here, but there is a small clip to hold a weapon. There is also this transparent curved piece that is attached to the set by a ball joint. And if you attach a minifigure to this piece and move it around, it gives the effect of it flying with its jetpack. And I personally think this is a really cool plate feature, and I think it's implemented well. The Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack retails for $20, however if you look online you can find it for about $16. And I do like all of the minifigures that are included in this set. And for $16, I do feel like that's a pretty fair price for what you're getting, but with that being said, let's move on to the Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle. And we're going to start by taking a look at Moff Gideon himself, who is decked out in his Dark Trooper Phase 4 armor. I do like the overall look and design of this armor as a whole. I think it's got some really good printing on the chest, legs, and toes. I do like the overall design of the helmet as well. The red printing looks really great. And as we make our way around to the side of the figure, you can see that the helmet is also decked out in a couple of horns, and that this figure doesn't come with any arm printing. The jetpack design for this figure is also very similar to the Imperial Commandos we took a look at earlier, and it also comes with its own printed piece as well. Removing Moff Gideon's jetpack will show off his back print, and removing his helmet will show off his face print underneath, and this figure also comes with a hair piece. Moff Gideon does come with a second angrier facial expression, and I'm not really the biggest fan of the hair piece included. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Paz Vizsla, who I think has some really good detail overall. I love the printed detail on the character's chest plate, as well as on the character's legs and toes. I think it flows together very well and looks great overall. This character also has some really nice detail on the helmet as well, and as we make our way around to the side of the figure, you can see that on his shoulder pad he has a printed Mandalorian logo. Paz Vizsla also has the helmet holes included, and as we make our way around to the back of the figure, you can see that he has a brick-built backpack that looks pretty good for what it is. Removing the armor piece and backpack of Paz Vizsla will give us a good look at his full chest print, and as we spin the figure around to the side, you can see that there is no arm printing at all on this figure, which I don't think is necessarily too big of a deal because that armor piece has some pretty good detail. And as we make our way to the back of the figure, here's a good look at his back print. And removing the helmet, there is a plain minifigure head underneath. Paz Vizsla also comes with a brick-built blaster cannon as an accessory. The next minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is the Imperial Praetorian Guard. And I do like this figure's overall look and design. I think the printing on the helmet looks pretty good. This figure also comes with some chest and leg printing, and if you look closely, you can even see some toe printing there at the bottom. There is no arm printing on this figure, but I don't think it's necessarily too big of a deal to its overall look and design. And as we spin the figure around, we get a good look at his back print as well. Removing the helmet of this figure will show off a red plain minifigure head underneath. And this set does include 2 Praetorian guards, each coming with their own unique weapon. With the minifigures out of the way, we're ready to talk about the environmental build that comes with the Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle. The overall look and design of this environmental build is a little bit more complex than that found in the Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. On the left side of the build, you're going to find this really cool printed control panel and a lamp. The detail found on the pieces above the door are stickers and not prints, which isn't necessarily too surprising. However, I do wish that these pieces were printed. I do like the building techniques LEGO used to get the overall shape and design of the door. I think it looks really great. Taking a look at the ground level of the build, you can see that there's a good mixture of studded and flat areas to place various minifigures. In the top right area of the build, there is this turret that has a really strong design for being such a simple build. It can also rotate a full 360 degrees. And of course, it wouldn't be a modern LEGO turret without some stud shooters on top. Overall, I do like its design and I think it's implemented well. We're going to take this set and spin it around to the back so we can get a good look at the details on the inside as well. Starting on the left side of the build, there is a small area that has a sticker monitor on the wall. Beside this area, there is a clip to hold a weapon. Taking a look towards the top of the door, you can see that there is a piece that you can pull up on to raise the door. There is also a Technic piece to the left that will help keep the door open. Closing the door is rather simple. You take this piece here and push it and it causes the door to slam down. Here's a look at opening the door from the other side. And even though this feature works well, I do feel like it looks a little awkward to have the top of the door sticking out of the build. But it is really satisfying to close the door. The last thing that I want to mention about these sets is they can actually combine thanks to clips that are sticking on both sides of the build. Here is one way you can combine the two sets to make it into an L-shaped diorama, and I think it looks pretty good and flows together very well. There is also a clip on the other side of both of these sets, so you're able to combine them in a different way as well. Combining them in this way makes it look like one extended set. I don't think this looks as good as the first option, but it is an option regardless. The Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle retails for $40, but you can find it online for about $32, and I think that's a fair price for what you'd get. And while I am an adult collector, and I more than likely will not be displaying these sets in my collection, I do think that there is a good play value for kids. Thank you so much for watching my review, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for future brick built reviews and content.